Alright folks, got a few things to go over today. I did go look at the Baler yesterday, the inline Hesston designed Baler, and I'm going to talk about that some today. I've also got a video clip I'm going to insert into this video or at the end of this video. It's about a 2-minute clip showing an issue with the Baler I found that I believe is repairable, but I'll let some of you take a look at that. I do want to thank all those that commented and offered advice on what to look for on the Balers. Several of you came out and helped on that, and I've actually got about 3 of you that I think one of you had some texts back and forth, and another one we've been talking via Facebook, and another one via email, and I've been sharing some photos of the Baler and whatnot, and we've been discussing its condition and its price, and whether or not it looked like it was worth what they were asking or not. But anyway, I do appreciate you guys too helping me out there. I have, before I go into any details of the Baler, I have committed to buy the Baler at this point. I do feel it's worth getting, even though it has a few minor issues that'll be easy to address. I believe it has one I'd call somewhat major issue. Well, I don't know. It's not good, but I think it could be fixed and dealt with, and it'd be all right. But that said, the Baler is at a dealer, and I did talk to this dealer also about trading the Massey 5610 on this deal, and I'm basically, that'll be about 3 dealers that I have trade-in quotes from on the tractor, so I'm really nailing down a price on the tractor. But this one offered me the best trade-in price to date. But however, both of us agreed that we would hold off on the deal until next year. I was fine with that, and I think they were a little swamped at the moment trying to wrap up at the end of the year, so they felt it would be best to hold off until about the 2nd week of January before we start trying to wrap up the deal. But I'm saying all this because I obviously still have the 5610 advertised and available for sale, and I asked them if someone comes up and wants the 5610 between now and the time we actually wrap up the deal, if I can go ahead and sell it. And they said, go ahead, sell it, whatever, and then I'll just buy the Baler after the fact. So there's no big deal there. So I'm saying this to give, I know there's several of you out there would like to have that tractor, and some of you may not can afford it, whatever. I mean, I understand that, but there may be some of you out there that's on the fence, and I'm just saying, you got about a week and a half, 2 weeks right now, and I'm willing to deal on the 5610. Like I said, but I know what they're going to offer me, and I know what I'm asking, and I'm willing to split that somewhere and come out a little bit better than the trade-in, but also help the buyer come out better than what it would cost them to buy from the dealer. So if you're interested in that 5610, by all means contact me before it's gone. That's all I know to say at this point about it. I will put my phone number in the comments if I can remember to do it at the bottom of this video. So if you're listening to this and you're interested in the 5610, just call me. We'll talk about it and work it out. And I know some of you are spread out across the country. Some of you are in other countries altogether. But within the U.S. here, if I don't care where you are. I'm willing to talk to you about it and help you with arranging shipping or whatever. We'd have to agree on something there, but if it's feasible and it can be done, I'll do what I can to help. Even if you're a little further away than you think would be worth it to do or not. Well, we'll talk about it. But anyway, that's the deal with the 5610, and like I said, if somebody doesn't show up in the next week and a half, 2 weeks, its fate will be traded for this Baler, and it'll find a new home that way. But I got a feeling the price on the 5610 will be inflated from what I'm asking for it a good bit. So, and I would personally rather see someone buy it from me. I'd personally rather sell it to somebody than trade it. But that's the deal. So on to the Baler. It was an all-day event to go look at it. I spent probably 2 hours going around that Baler, spinning the flywheel, running it through tie cycles, just trying to check it out as good as I humanly possibly could. My first impressions on it, I was just gonna walk away from it. I started finding just too many little things that I just thought, this thing's gonna be a pain. But the more and more I got to looking at it, the more and more I got to thinking about what they were asking for it. And they had new Balers there too, and I went and looked at some of them, and I was comparing things, comparing play and bearings and certain components, and just trying to get an overall feel for how worn the Baler was, and I kept feeling a little bit better about it. And then after talking to the dealer, and a lot of the little things that need to be addressed, they're going to fix and get parts in and stuff for. And then the main thing I got to fix, they're going to get some parts in about half cost for me, and I'm gonna try to fix that myself, mainly because I want it to be fixed right, and it's going to involve some welding. So what you're going to see in the clip that I'm going to put in this video is where the needles are, and say the needle arm. I'm not sure that's the proper terminology for it, but as some of you that we've been talking back and forth have seen photos of the Baler already, and I already knew it, the needles and the needle arm are kind of a white gray color, so they look like they've been replaced at some point, that whole assembly. Also, I believe what you'd call the metering arm, maybe. It's the piece of metal with the notch in it that has the setting for your bell length on it. That's been replaced as well, although I believe that's a common wear item. So that doesn't bother me too much. But anyway, the needles look fine. The needle arm looked fine. Like I said, it all been replaced at some point. It has been used since it's been replaced, so it's not just brand new. But where that arm has two pivots, bolts, pivot points on each side of the bell chamber. If you're looking from the back of the baler, the bolt on the right side it's tight. There's no play there, but it don't look quite straight. It's close, but it's not quite. But on the left side, as you'll see in the upcoming video. Alright folks, so I'm at this baler. I got to do a real quick video because of storage on my phone. But anyway, just wanted to show y'all guys a couple of things real quick. See what y'all thought. The rest of the baler seems okay to me. But this needle arm here is loose. And right here where this bolt goes through, this metal is cracked out right here. On this piece of metal that runs it through here is part of the whole knotter system frame. It also is welded and tied to that bracket over there. So unless someone welds this, that whole frame would have to be replaced. Also, this piece of angle iron right here is cracked on the back side. I'll show you that here in a second, but that would be an easy thing to replace. But I am just concerned about that and why that happened. While I walk around here, I did run the baler through a tie cycle and have turned everything over by hand. Everything seems to be okay on that. These side pieces here that have an adjustment on them are wore pretty bad, but this is that bolt right here that runs through to the other side of that needle arm, and it's cracked right here across the top. So like I said, this bracket right here can be replaced, but these doors right here and over here, like I said, they're you can see these bolts right down here have got these pushed out pretty far, so I don't find that so wore. But anyway, the knives and the plunger and all don't look too bad. Everything, you know, you might use sharpener replacing, I don't know, but that's the main concern I have with the baler. There's a few little other little issues, but they're all real minor I can fix, but that's the biggest one. I think that's fixable, but I don't know. I'll see what you guys say. Thanks for watching. See ya. That pivot point is loose. You can wiggle play in that bolt. The bolt is also not straight, and there's a piece of angle iron on the side of the bell chamber there that, if you look at it from the inside of the bell chamber, looking at the head of that bolt that is the pivot point for that arm, you'll see I point out it's cracked in there. That piece of angle iron just bolts in. It's an easy replacement, easy fix as far as that goes. But coming back out to the outside of the bell chamber there's actually a piece of frame that comes down to that pivot point where that bolt goes through it. And that frame is part of the entire knotter assembly. So it's a whole welded frame that sits on top of the bell chamber, holds the whole needle assembly or knotter assembly, and also runs down the other side to the other pivot point of the needle arm. that point where that bolt goes through on that left side is broke, it's cracked, and it basically, there's just a loose piece in there. It's about to come out, and that's the part that, to replace that whole frame, all the knotter assembly and all those mechanisms would have to come out. It can be done. I don't want to do it, but you know, if it comes to it, it comes to it. But I believe, if you look at video, I believe that can be welded and fixed. The problem is, if you want to weld it from the back side as well as the front side, again, a person would have to probably take that whole thing off. I'm not going to attempt to weld it. I don't think. I mean, I get it home, I'll look at it and see. But I have a welder in the family. That's what he does for a living, and I think he still does. But anyway, he's got a shop, and I'm going to talk to him first. I'm going to see what he thinks about it. But I'm going to look into seeing if that can be welded, possibly even modified a little bit and beefed up, and not affect the that needle arm and the needles and their alignment and whatnot. So, but anyway, you'll see that in video here. Sorry, this will be a bit of a lengthy video, but I'm having to explain it all. I did, like I said, I turned the turned the flywheel, tripped the metering arm, whatever you would call it, to tie, turned the flywheel. Everything went through its motions and appeared to work. The knotters all turned and worked. And, I mean, I didn't actually have them string through it and tie a knot or anything like that, but everything was moving and functioning. The baler turned over by hand pretty easy. It was a little bit stiffer when it went through a tie cycle, just because I was turning those extra mechanisms, but it wasn't bad. And the baler has sat for a long time. Its previous owner had it about 3 years, to the best of my knowledge, and the story that was given to me, and they never used it. I don't know if it stayed inside or outside or what, but I know this dealer's had it for a little while and it's been outside. You know, I expected some things to be a little stiff, some stiff grease and certain things, but it spun pretty freely. The baler does have a bell thrower on it, which is one of the things I wanted. I have already talked to some of you about that, yeah, I'm going to have to explain why I want to use a bell thrower, but the baler does have a bell thrower on it. And the bell throwers, well, the bell thrower on it's brand new. The previous owner of it had the bell thrower put on and never used it. So bell thrower is brand spanking new, and any of those that you at the price of bell thrower, they are expensive. And what I'm getting the baler for, you know, a new baler with a bell thrower on it is probably going to be anywhere from $25,000 to $27,000. And I am nowhere near that, Miss Baler. So, you know, but anyway, so there's a hydraulic pump tied to the flywheel, so I was turning that as well. And you know, like I said, it's still spun pretty freely. The bell thrower did not turn with me turning the flywheel because there's an actuator back there that has it in, I think, an off, it's turned off. There is a chute under the bale thrower that you can open up and let bales just run out on the ground like normal. So that's good too. I'm still debating if I'm going to get another bale grapple accumulator to load bales on like gooseneck trailer and whatnot. But I do plan to use bale thrower and a couple of bale racks or bale wagons to hold. I'm hoping to redo one of the wagons that I've got. I was going to redo it anyway, put new floor, new tires and stuff on it. I'd probably rig that wagon to hold about 100 bales. And I'm looking to get another wagon that'll hold maybe upwards of 180, 200 bales, one big wagon. So 300 bales there, and then if I get another grapple and run, I can run another. I can probably get another 200, 225 with my gooseneck, and then I can use my dump trailer probably to hold another 100. So we could probably do 600 bales in a day or in an afternoon and eat. And that would be a good number of bales to keep up with, because when I do bales, I usually have them sold before I bale them. So I already know who they're going to and when and whatnot. So we'll load up everything we got, put them in the shed, and then try to get them either delivered or picked up or whatever as soon as possible to get ready for the next round. But anyway, that's my spiel on the bale thrower and what we'll do there. So there is a belt that drives the bale thrower on the back. There's another hydraulic motor back there, and I could rotate all that by hand. So all that's working, it's there, it's free, it's working. So I believe it's worked. We didn't hook a tractor to the baler and physically run it because the PTO drive shaft's messed up. There is I don't know if it's a type of clutch or mechanism that's in the end of the U-joint where it connects up to the flywheel. It's not part of the flywheel assembly, it's part of the actual drive shaft. Something's broken there and it's spinning freely. So the drive shaft is disconnected from the flywheel. It's physically connected, but it's disconnected from the flywheel. And that's not right. They're going to fix it. What happened was somebody had a problem with a drive shaft at the end of this past year, or still this year, and they just yanked that one off and give it to them, and I think they moved that shaft from it anyway. Whatever reason, the shaft's messed up, so they're going to either fix it or replace it. I think they know what's wrong with it, but the U-joints and all felt good on it, so it's just something that's messed up with that into that drive shaft. So they're going to look at that. The actuator for the bale thrower, it's got two wires going to it. So there is a switch or a device of some sort that controls the bale thrower and its speed. The wires are cut at the tongue of the baler, so they're going to replace that and get that fixed. They're also going to order the parts for those angle iron pieces to replace both sides on that needle arm assembly and on the side of the bell chamber there. They're going to get those. It was missing a jack. They're going to put a new jack on it, and they're going to order the manuals, the technical manuals, any manual available for the Baler parts book, they're going to get me, so I'll have all that. And they agreed to any parts that I need to get it going. They'll cut me a deal on the parts and ship them to me, because they're, like I said, the dealers for the AGCO stuff are a long ways away from me, and that was the whole deal with getting the deer was parts availability and whatnot. But the price of the deal is right on this Baler, so and we talked about that, and being able to get parts. So I use the parts book, AGCO parts book online, so I can look up part numbers and all that good stuff. It's just I have to get it to them and get them to ship me the parts, pretty much. So we're going to do that. It also did not have the wagon hitch, which I don't know why they put a bell thrower on it. It didn't put the wagon hitch on it. It's beyond me. But it's never had one on it. But he split the cost of the wagon hitch with me. So he's gonna order that in, and I'll put the wagon. Well, they'll either put it on or I'll put it on. Somebody will put it on, and get that. So yeah. So I don't know what I'm overlooking. The Baler overall, it was odd. There were parts of it that looked bad war, and there were parts of it that I thought should equally look war that weren't. And I could not tell. The bell counter on the back had like 2,200 bells on it, but I mean that's resettable. It worked, but back there where those angle iron pieces are for the bolts and the pivot point of that needle arm, there's they're almost like two little doors. But their purpose is to adjust the tension placed on the side of the bell as it's being made. They have little holes in it, like perforated, pressed out little holes. Those of y'all that have them know what I'm talking about. And there's some bolts in the side of that angle iron piece, the same piece that the bolts for the needle arm run through, that adjust those doors in and out like that for pressure against the side of the bell, not the top of the bell, but the sides of the bell. They're wore real bad, and but they were adjusted in really far, and I don't know why somebody had that adjusted in. So that would lean towards wearing out quicker. But I may replace those and set those back to more of a stock setting, because I don't know exactly why they were set that way and why those were wore, but the rest of the Baler didn't look that bad. There's still a lot of paint on the inside of the bell chamber, and it's the carriage bolts and that, the heads didn't look all that wore that bad. I mean, it didn't look that bad wore, but then there was pieces like I just explained that were wore real bad. So I don't know. There were I don't know what the technical term for it is, but up at the knotters, I think they're called the fingers, but there's two little pieces that the twine runs through. There's a little like tab on the inside that you can press up and down. Those those have some wear to them where the string has been running through. And the Baler did have just normal Cecil twine, just regular old twine in it, wouldn't any plastic twine in it. So I don't know if it ever ran plastic twine through it or not. Seems like I've read where the plastic twine actually wears less on the knotter assembly and the knives and all than regular twine. Some of you can tell me if that's so or not, but those are wore a little bit. I don't think they're in need of replacement yet, but it may be sometime down the road. But anywho, everything else felt tight pretty much around the knotter assembly, so comparing the new one to it, things seemed okay there. But anyway, I know this has turned into quite a long video, but I just wanted to get all that out there on the Baler. Like I said, it'll be probably 2 or 3 weeks before I have it. I kind of wish I already had it this weekend because they're saying it's going to rain all weekend, and I'd like to go ahead and get started working on it. But I'll probably just go ahead and do a good bit of work. I may even replace the knives and everything in it, and go through it if he gets me those books, check specifications. Just go ahead and fix, replace anything and everything I can do, and just try to get it back right, and hopefully it'll be good for me. Anyway, I appreciate those of you that watch this long. I appreciate all those of you that have them and are commenting and offering me advice and helping me on it. When I get it, I'll try to get some more detailed video of it and go over some of the things that I'm concerned with on it, and show you and let y'all guys comment as to whether you all think those are excessively wore or excessive play, need to be addressed or not, and go from there. But like I said, it'll be a few weeks, so that will be that. But anyway, I'll put that other video in if I may have already cut it in before this point, or it'll be at the end. But anyway, again, appreciate y'all watching, and any more comments, advice on the Baler will be greatly appreciated. And stay tuned for more.